absolutely. And I mean, you touched on some of those points that came to mind for myself. In addition to some of the things that I talked about, you mentioned, the local guidelines, right? Because you don't want to go through a project like this and then obviously have issues there, right? But I think if I were to summarize that, I think education is a big thing, right? So again, it can be rather daunting as a speaking from a consumer perspective of what do I have to do for this to be successful? Is this feasible? Is this going to generate a return, right? So education there. And I think you guys have done a great job on your website and your blog, getting tons of tools and content out to consumers to help go through that process. The ROI aspect of things you mentioned as well. And then kind of like a sub bullet of that, if you will, is, what are the current incentives, tax breaks and incentives there. And, I think that's something that folks may not be as familiar with, because I think that's changed. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's changed here in the last 6 to 9 months or so here in the US.
Correct.
But the incentives have increased substantially and are going to continue to
Correct.
Over the next number of years. So
over a decade.
Yeah. So yeah, I think education, ROI, and of course incentives there are
one of the very important words that you mentioned is education. Okay, it is very critical for the industry itself, the overall industry. As a matter of fact, it is important for every industry. But talking about solar, it is extremely important for every company to focus on education. Education not to just the customers, but to the sales guys as well. Your internal teams, because things are changing. People who are not from solar backgrounds are trying to get into solar because it is a huge opportunity, center stage of the economy right now, providing tons of jobs, tons of opportunities. So in order for you to honestly avail all these opportunities and really take advantage of being a part of the industry, you got to get yourself educated. There is no such thing as